Hey movie fans, mi raza. Today we're talking about Barbie, the commercial. I mean the movie, yes, the movie. Heh 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 heh. If you want the short version, here it is. I didn't like it. I didn't like the movie. But let me explain why. In the beginning of the movie, we encounter stereotypical Barbie living in Barbie Land, where she dances, goes to the beach, parties with her friends, and rejects Ken on a constant basis. However, everything changes when she starts thinking about death, and then she starts to develop cellulite on her thigh, which actually lays out the first problem for me. How do Barbies and Kens know about death? Are they capable of dying? And if they die, does that mean that they're also born? At one point in the movie, Barbie says to Will Ferrell's character, Mattel CEO, I don't really remember his name, but can you blame me? That it's been a while since she was in a box. So they aren't really born, right? At least in a biological way. So my point is, how can they know about death if they don't die? Another hint of this is that Barbies and Kens don't age. They all look like around 30 years old. Then Barbie goes to Weird Barbie for advice. I guess that's because she's the one who's supposed to know what to do if something weird happens to you. I wasn't really sure what the reason was behind that decision. Well, Barbie tells stereotypical Barbie that the changes she's going through are because the girl that's playing with her in the real world is going through stuff emotionally. And here, Weird Barbie does something that I found completely nonsense. She tells stereotypical Barbie to go to LA because the girl that plays with her lives there. But we never know how Weird Barbie got that information. The movie doesn't even try to explain this, and it doesn't even try to come up with a random and ridiculous excuse. The truth is, throughout the movie, there are a lot of things that the writers probably thought that were cool or that were funny or that just made sense, but I don't really feel that the movie earns the right of employing these lazy plot devices. Also, I get that not every movie makes complete sense. However, I really think that this movie abused the notion of not having to be perfect, and they just leave a bunch of things unjustified just to have the plot running somewhat smoothly. Then in the real world, I just don't know what happens. Ken sees patriarchy, understands it, gets excited, and goes back to Barbie Land to spread this idea and subjugate Barbies as a form of revenge. Because during the Barbie regime, Kens were oppressed and they were not represented during various forms of political processes. Simultaneously, Barbie finds the kid who she thinks is playing with her doll avatar because who would have thought? Barbies can access memories from the real world if they try hard enough. And well, when she finds her, this kid is really mean to her. But later we discover that it's actually that girl's mother, who works at Mattel by the way, who's actually playing with stereotypical Barbie. The mother of this kid, who's played by America Ferrara, then saves Barbie from Mattel because they are chasing her. They are trying to capture her. I don't really know why. The movie doesn't explain that point specifically. They just say that something unthinkable will happen if they are unable to capture Barbie. And I believe this is another fault within the plot. Then stereotypical Barbie, along with America Ferrara's character and her daughter, go back to Barbie Land, and they encounter the version of patriarchy that Ken has spread throughout Barbie Land, now renamed as Kendom. At this point in the movie, I knew that it would fail because it had three main problems: Barbie malfunctioning, Mattel chasing Barbie, and Ken. And the only way to resolve these three problems needed to be fast, because the movie was almost over. So in the case of Mattel looking for Barbie, they didn't have to do anything, because she was already in Barbie Land. However, I don't really remember why Mattel had to go back to Barbie Land. They probably had an excuse just to have Will Ferrell make some jokes. But I don't really remember the exact reason. About Ken's patriarchy, America Ferrara just makes a speech in front of every single Barbie to pull them out of their trance, which is kinda strange, because that speech involved the experiences of women in the real world, not the experiences of Barbies in Barbie Land or Kendom or whatever. I found that quite odd. However, the most paradoxical thing was Barbie choosing to become human, because we don't witness the character evolving in that direction. And it was even more strange because she does this during a scene with Ruth Handler, Barbie's creator. Previously, during this scene, Will Ferrell says that Ruth Handler is just a ghost living within Mattel's building, and that was probably the only time that I actually laughed during this movie. But then I got annoyed again because I remember that they don't explain ghosts anywhere in the movie. Raza. Is this the worst movie ever made? Probably not, but it's close. I found it boring, nonsense, and contrived. I felt that it was something Greta Gerwig made for herself, without an audience in mind. I would rate this movie with a 0.5 out of 10. Because I laughed at the ghost joke. What do you think? Did you like this movie? Mi raza. I'm out.